represent the United States on the global stage. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Generators aren't something you turn on each day, but when you do, they must be reliable. SoCal businesses have turned to Duthie Power for almost 60 years to keep emergency power systems maintained and serviced. See the generator experts at DuthiePower.com. That's DUTHIE Power.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
At age 39, even in the summertime, LeBron James proved he can still deliver when the game is on the line. LeBron scored the last 11 points for Team USA to help pull out a 4-point win over Germany in an exhibition game in London. It was the final tune-up for Team USA before the Summer Olympics in Paris. LeBron finished with 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Team USA was 5-0 in their practice games. They head to Paris today. First Olympic game is Sunday against Serbia, led by a center named Nikola Jokic. Vice President Kamala Harris was presidential Monday morning at the White House. She welcomed a group of NCAA athletes and coaches who won championships on the Division I, II, and III levels during the 2023-24 season. Harris stepped in to honor the athletes in place of President Joe Biden, who's at home in Delaware recovering from COVID. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. Just a few short months ago, California Attorney General Rob Bonta filed 11 felony charges against Diana Turan, an assistant district attorney for Los Angeles County. The charges allege that Turan unlawfully accessed confidential computer data, including police officer files in 2018, and continued to use them after joining the DA's office in 2021. Ironically, Turan, who is now on administrative leave, oversaw the Public Integrity Division responsible for handling high-profile cases of police misconduct and public corruption, including the charges brought against LA City Council member Karen Price last June. To be sure, the case against Price has raised plenty of eyebrows. Indeed, one noted legal scholar has said publicly, and I quote, "Everything about this prosecution reeks," close quote. Could AG Bonta, with aspirations to become California governor, be punishing Turan for her role in DA George Gascon's police accountability agenda to curry favor with police unions? Could DA Gascon be using the case against Price to showcase his tough stance on crime and political corruption as he vies to retain his seat as DA? Honestly, I have no idea, but here's what I know for sure. Karen Price has been elected and re-elected by thousands of voters, mostly black and brown, who stand to be further disenfranchised if this matter is not handled correctly, which is why it matters to us at KBLA Talk 1580. When the prosecutor is being prosecuted, it seems to me that at the very least, there ought to be a thorough, top-to-bottom, independent review of all cases under Diana Turan's purview to ensure that none of these cases have been tainted. Justice and fundamental fairness demand no less, if public trust truly matters. And I hope it does. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Tavis Smiley. We welcome your feedback.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule. 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tavis Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. With hopes that black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in to First Things First with the Queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First, and my first thing today and every day is giving thanks, giving praises, a big old prayer, asking for blessings from the Most High, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and getting it going. What do you want to talk about? We got space for you to do so. We got these microphones, these telephones, and you are invited in every minute of every hour that I'm on the air, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. So this is what we do around here. Hour one, we look to the left coast, what's going on locally at the moment. Local and national all seem to be stirred up in one big stew. Hour two, we look national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive with a person of interest or a hot topic. Today, we're kind of on that trajectory. We'll be joined hour two by Assembly Member Isaac Bryan, who can give us a great update on what's going on in the state, statewide, what's his victories, but also some insights on how the state is coalescing around Kamala Harris or not. Vice President Kamala Harris as the apparently presumptive presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. I say presumptive because it looks like the delegates are moving her way, but we shall see. And then in hour three, Sam P.K. Collins will be joining me. He's a journalist, and we're going to break down the national scene, what's going on. We have been, or I have been, I'll admit, since Sunday when the KBLA team took to the air to examine that breaking news, pretty caught up with what is going on in our presidential politics here in the United States. But there are some other stories that we'd like to unpack as well as that. And as I said, you are invited in always. Speaking of invitations, hey, we'd love to see you virtually. So KBLA 1580 is where we are on every platform, X and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, especially YouTube. We stream every morning. I'm streaming right now at KBLA 1580 on YouTube.com. Please like and follow and subscribe and comment. All of that is good. We appreciate it. We appreciate the love, the mutual love that we have here. And when you do all of those things, you make us stronger. When you download the KBLA app, you help ensure that we'll stick around, that we'll be able to keep doing this because, as I've mentioned many times, we're one of 5 Black-owned talk radio stations in the whole nation. You think about that, thousands of talk radio stations helping to shape our perceptions about the election, about everything from the assassination attempt to the presidential contests. People are getting information, ideas, and attitudes from talk radio. Only 5 of those in the whole country are Black-owned. Only one of those 5 located on the West Coast, and that's us. And so every time you like, subscribe, download the app, tell a friend to download the app, it does make a difference in making sure that we do not perish in this rather rocky national environment that we're currently experiencing. It's going to be hot, they said, through Wednesday, but now the weather forecasters are saying this heat wave could go through Friday. Try to hydrate. Look, if you hate water, eat things that have good water content like cucumbers and watermelon. I mean, it's in the name. Or try to sip all day because dehydration can cause all kinds of problems that mimic other diseases. So you want to make sure you're not dehydrated. Make sure your elders and babies are not dehydrated. It's the water you drink the day before and the day before that actually hydrate you for today. So you're dehydrated today if you didn't drink any water on Sunday, for example. So let's take care of that. Remember, there are cooling centers, and if you are like me and you don't have air conditioning in your home, you need to be really mindful of not overheating because you can die. And you can call 311 and find out where there's a cooling center near you. Or you could go to a library. Libraries are great because they have air conditioning plus books. So it's a win-win. Cool your body and enhance your mind. But you can dial 311 and get information about, where you can go to cool down. This is serious business right now. And apparently there's been a major accident with a fatality overnight on La Cienega. So it's still pretty jammed up. So if you can avoid La Cienega this morning, I would suggest that you do so. If you can, use your navigation, app, or use your navigation brain, your city, you're going to have to try to get around that because it's still backed up. Whenever there's a fatality that is followed by an investigation, we're talking about a serious snarl that could last throughout the morning. So just giving you the heads up, even though I don't typically do traffic. So 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. That is the number to call if you got something to say about a thing, or you want to weigh in on something that I'm talking about. I got a whole bunch of stuff I haven't gotten to just because we've been so busy with this ever-breaking news, which, is very important. And yet, tracking what's going on here where we could be, Disney workers have authorized a strike. And that is, that's a new era for Disney workers. I don't know how it's not as serious maybe as an entertainment strike because, it's not going to impact every aspect but there are a lot of folks that work there, and that rely on those jobs. And of course, a lot of people that love to go and visit there. And I hope that we won't consider crossing any picket lines, but the union represents 14,000 Disney workers. And the workers say they are engaging in unfair business practices. Workers that can't even afford to live anywhere near Disneyland, who are living in cars and working there, according to an article in the Los Angeles Times. And Disney Workers Rising is actually 4 unions together that work those hotels, the attractions, California Adventure, and Downtown Disney. So 99% of the members voted to back a strike. That's a huge authorization. They are not playing. And so last year's hot labor summer, rolls over to this year. I mentioned last week IATSE, which represents a lot of the below-the-line workers in entertainment. People like camera operators unions and stuff fall under that umbrella. They have reached a tentative deal. That means it looks like is it tentative? They may have ratified it by now. I'm not sure, but it looks like they got a really great contract, which is good news, with protections against AI, even better than the SAG-AFTRA ones, etc. And then we still have the Teamsters, and Teamsters play a huge role in the entertainment business. So once the Teamsters resolve their contract, and we hope they don't have to go on strike, because if they do, SAG-AFTRA and the Writers Guild and everyone is going on strike with them. We're going to be out on in solidarity. Once that's done, hopefully this entertainment machine will start to rev up because folks are suffering right now. Let's go to Fred, calling from the Crenshaw district. Good morning, Fred.
Dominique, how you doing, my sister? I want to comment on 2 things. Number one, about the possibility of Disney going on strike. I used to work for the state some time ago under George DeMajan and Pete Wilson, but my thing is, why don't they get a hold of the governor's office? There is a state labor board, so maybe Governor Newsom can have one of his people come down there and meet with both sides. Remember when we had the MTA strike? The Reverend Jesse Jackson had to meet privately with the drivers, the clerks, and the mechanics. So that's a suggestion that I think that they should look into. because I've been in the union 721. It's well, we used to be 660. Then that went out the window. Then we became 721, 7 unions to 1 union. So I would like to offer that as a suggestion. And my other topic, Kamala Harris, boy, she is really shining. I cannot wait for her and Trump to take the stage. It's supposed to be September 10th. They haven't decided what date.
He's going to chicken out, Fred. He ain't going to take her. He's going to chicken out.
And then I like to see her mop the floor with, she's a former prosecutor. He up there talking about that the election was stolen. Oh, really? None of the members of the Supreme Court will even go along with that. And he appointed the last 3 judges, and now he's trying to get this a civil monetary case kicked out. It's a shame that we have somebody run for president of the United States that's basically a convicted felon. I like what Kamala Harris said last night on TV. She said, we have 2 paths. You want to move forward, you go with the Democratic Party. You want to go backwards, then you go with Donald Trump. And then J.D. Vance said, bring it on. Kamala Harris, she's going to bring it on, and I like to see his reaction. See, the Republican Party thought that Joe Biden was going to be the one running. As my mom used to say, everything happens for a reason. She's young, she's energetic, and I think she's going to tear Donald Trump apart from top to bottom.
Well, I got to say, Fred, I hope you're right. I love the enthusiasm that's going on right now. Black people just spontaneously organizing, unions coming to the table. It's much greater than I thought. I really wasn't expecting this level of enthusiasm for Kamala Harris. Maybe after what we've seen at the convention and the choice of vice president by he who shall not be named, and other things that have made people, the conversation around 2025, Project 2025, and the Republicans' agenda for dismantling our form of government and replacing it with more of an authoritarian kind of classic oligarchical structure, has made people feel really sad. And then the idea that we might have a different option, another way forward, is energizing people. I don't know, but I'm happy to see it.
Oh yeah, and then Donald Trump claims he doesn't know anything about Project 2025. Oh really? I go down to law library research stuff, and the whole thing is 180 pages. So I asked one of the librarians if you can just pull up the first 10 pages, and one of the people who is going to be there is Mark Meadows. You remember he was the chief of staff
for Trump. Well, I mean, and that's the problem with this claim that he doesn't know anything about it. Like, there are 140 people that are former staff members of the president, former president of he who shall not be named, the Orange Menace, that worked on that Project 2025. So obviously he knows about it. And number 2, the Heritage Foundation, which is behind Project 2025, has already bragged that President Trump implemented 80 of their recommendations from last time when he was president the first time around. So why would he suddenly disavow the Heritage Foundation and act like he doesn't know anything about it when he's already implemented a bunch of their recommendations? And third, the Republican Party right now, in this minute, when they don't even have the White House, is working with the cravenly biased and undemocratic Supreme Court to try to put some of those things in motion now. I mean, let's start with immunity. Total immunity for the president certainly moves us closer to the dictatorial, kind of authoritarian status that the Project 2025 documents lay out of how they would like the presidency to be in the future.
Yeah, and I subscribe to this magazine called Nation, and it gave a whole excerpt of this plan about the Heritage Foundation. We have got to move forward and say, Kamala. It's kind of remind me of a song by Sam Cooke. He made a song years ago I like called "Chain Gonna Come," and that's what's going to happen. I have a very good singing voice. Would you like me to do a rendition for you real quick?
Well, Fred, I appreciate your insights. I love that Fred went down to the library to to look at, Project 2025. You can find it online, project2025.org, project2025.org. That's the number. That's the website. And you can see for yourself. I think it's a little more than 140. I think it's more like 800 pages. But there are quite a few decent summaries of it online, and you get the idea as soon as you start perusing that page. Trust and believe. 800-920-1580. That's the number, 800-920-1580. We are unapologetically progressive. We are KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Hey, I got a question for you. You hate bending over to put on your shoes? Wish you could just put them on standing or sitting without ever having to touch them? If so, then I have the shoe for you. Introducing new hands-free Skechers Slip-ins. With new Skechers Slip-ins, you just step in and off you go. You don't even need to lace up. So how do Skechers Slip-ins work? Well, there's a special smooth comfort pillow in the heel that helps your foot slide right into place. So just step in them and go. Find new hands-free Skechers Slip-ins for the whole family at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California. Home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Aviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising at KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got your Black.
Psst. Hey, I have a secret. I use Secret Whole Body Deodorant because more than just my armpits stink.
Oh, can I use it where my bra rubs under my...
Oh, yeah.
And what about down there? You know, my...
Totally. 4 out of 5 gynecologists would recommend it. So I tried it, and now I get 72 hours of freshness from my pits to my...
Ooh, I love that it's a spray.
Me too. And it comes in sticks and creams, too. Go get your Secret Whole Body Deodorant.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the voice of reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your Black. Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Fred called me at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580, and you can do the same if you've got a thing or two you want to say about a thing or two. I'd love to hear it. And once again, drink that water. And once again, you probably want to avoid La Cienega if you can. So things are looking pretty good, as Fred pointed out, for Kamala Harris. It looks like, as far as the delegates go, it looks like she has actually already clinched the nomination. Of course, the votes have to happen. They would have to vote either in a virtual roll call or at the convention or both. But as of Monday night, it looks like she has the delegates to be the Democratic Party nominee. A couple of other massive calls taking place, organizing calls. Black women statewide here in California on a call, a Zoom last night, and there were several different black men's groups organizing to support Kamala Harris that were convened last night. She has already set a record for fundraising with $81 million in the first days. It's really 48 hours, I think. So, the momentum behind Kamala Harris is actually quite impressive at this point, in my view. And I hope that we can sustain it. I do think Republicans are scared. I think so far their counterattacks have been weak. I expect them to get a lot more terrible, a lot dirtier, lower, messier in the days and weeks ahead. But, they only have 100 days. I mean, I guess you can do a lot of damage in 100 days. They spent their whole convention mostly trashing Biden, and now he's not even the nominee. So, they're going to they're scrambling. And I think that I really honestly do think that Trump is really a little concerned about Kamala Harris. She's 59, he's 78. He's now the oldest nominee for President of the United States ever by a party. And at 59, she's, considered young in those political circles. She is very good at debate, discussion. She's a prosecutor. And we're starting to see some things, movement with even the conversation on social media that I find encouraging. So many of the things that people repeat over and over again, the trolls, which really do not have basis in reality, are starting to be clarified, even though they're editing stuff out of context. And in reality, she is considered a moderate, but she's progressive in some areas. And so I think and we'll keep talking about that, obviously. That's what we do around here. But I think as people start to get exposed more to what she's actually done in her career, people who care about policies and politics, not just optics and images and slogans and personality cults, will be persuaded. If they are persuadable and they look at her record, I believe they will be persuaded. And so that's good news for the Dems. We'll see how this polling goes as she starts getting her story out there. Let's go to Willie calling us from Palmdale. Hi, Willie. We're up against news, traffic, and sports, but at least you can start.
Good morning, Dominique. I just wanted to say about, I don't know if you talked about this already, about the former mayor of Stockton, Michael Tubbs.
What about him?
Where he's running for Lieutenant Governor of California. And I was wondering, will he be on the ballot for November?
I haven't been tracking that race nor his quest for it. But if he's running, then he will. I mean, if he's running and he filed in a timely manner, then he'll be on the ballot. Yeah, absolutely, he will. And of course, I would support that candidacy. I think he would probably make an excellent lieutenant governor. Lieutenant governor being a bit like vice president. You don't hear much about them, but it seems to be a platform that folks use to bounce up to statewide office in a more prominent way. So we shall see. I wasn't tracking that. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. Stay with me. We'll continue this conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
We thank you for joining us on a Tuesday, everyone. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Top lawmakers on the House Oversight Committee are calling on the head of the Secret Service to resign. Kentucky Republican James Comer and Maryland Democrat Jamie Raskin released a rare joint letter calling on Director Kimberly Cheadle to resign for failing to protect Donald Trump from an assassination attempt that ultimately killed one rally-goer and injured two others. Maryland Governor Wes Moore says he fully supports Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee for president, but he has no interest in becoming her running mate. Monday, the African-American governor said he will help and support the vice president in any way possible to help her become the next president, but is very, very comfortable with being the governor of the state of Maryland. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Generators aren't something you turn on each day, but when you do, they must be reliable. SoCal businesses have turned to Duthie Power for almost 60 years to keep emergency power systems maintained and serviced. See the generator experts at DuthiePower.com. That's DUTHIE Power.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
At age 39, even in the summertime, LeBron James proved he can still deliver when the game is on the line. LeBron scored the last 11 points for Team USA to help pull out a 4-point win over Germany in an exhibition game in London. It was the final tune-up for Team USA before the Summer Olympics in Paris. LeBron finished with 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Team USA was 5-0 in their practice games. They head to Paris today. First Olympic game is Sunday against Serbia, led by a center named Nikola Jokic. Vice President Kamala Harris was presidential Monday morning at the White House. She welcomed a group of NCAA athletes and coaches who won championships on the Division I, II, and III levels during the 2023-24 season. Harris stepped in to honor the athletes in place of President Joe Biden, who's at home in Delaware recovering from COVID. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Finding a path to a meaningful career, one where you're making an impact and making enough money, it can be tough. There's one path, though, that many young adults are landing on that leads them to careers where they can work outdoors, protect our environment, take on climate change, and get paid while they train. It's the California Conservation Corps. You just have to be 18 through 25 years old to enroll, or a U.S. military veteran through age 29, and you have to be a California resident. That's it. There's no education requirement, no employment history needed. Some Corps members need to finish up high school. Others are college grads. But during their 1 year of service, all CCC Corps members can earn the work experience and certifications needed to become a wildland firefighter, forestry technician, install solar, or build trails in our state parks. Learn how you can enroll at ccc.ca.gov. Do this for you. Become the person you want to be through the California Conservation Corps.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PATH to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PATH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PATH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and Clear Skin, count me in. With Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh yeah, there's so much going on right now. It's almost like impossible to keep up. But thank you for bringing that to my attention, Willie, about Michael Tubbs running. And I wasn't thinking when I said that's going to be a tough race, because guess who else is running for lieutenant governor? Senator Steve Bradford. And I think that's going to be a tough fight for young Mr. Tubbs, because Senator Bradford has distinguished himself in California for so many reasons as a true progressive. Now, Steve Bradford is what I would call an actually independent-minded lawmaker, in that you cannot always say, oh, he's going to take the party line, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. You can't always predict what he's going to do. But he has championed some super important legislation in the state of California, including some of the most progressive bills around reparations, the decertification for rogue police officers, problem police officers, so that they cannot just simply go to another smaller department and keep killing and beating people. He has done some pretty important things. It's tough, I say, because Michael Tubbs represents, a younger generation. He's only 33, and a lot of people are saying, pass the torch. I get that. Michael Tubbs has done some great work around poverty inside the governor's office as an advisor to Governor Gavin Newsom. But that's going to be a steep hill to climb, taking on Steve Bradford for that position. Fiona Ma is also running. But yeah, he'll definitely be on the ballot. I did double check that. Willie, you want to land for me? I know you had.
Have you picked your state senator yet?
I haven't gone over my ballot yet. I will. I always do it, but no, I haven't done all that yet.
So would you be giving up a suggested list of who to vote for this November?
You're funny, Willie. Maybe. The reason I'm laughing is because I only did that at front page because listeners asked me to do it. And then it turned out to be one of the most popular things I ever did. And then I didn't want to. You know what? Hold that thought, Willie. We have some what I'll call breaking news right now. Not really breaking news, but hold that thought. We'll get back to it because we have a guest calling in, and I know he has is about to catch a plane, and it's not every day you get to talk to one of your U.S. senators. He is one of the senators for the state of California. He went to L.A. public schools and graduated from MIT in mechanical engineering. He was on the city council, and he was in the state Senate, and now he's in the U.S. Senate. He was sworn in as the first Latino Secretary of State and went on to be appointed by Governor Gavin Newsom to finish then Vice President Kamala Harris's term. And now he's been reelected on his own merits. Senator Alex Padilla, welcome.
Good morning, Dominique. Good morning. Good to hear your voice. It's been a minute, and I got to tell you, when I heard you say breaking news, I thought, I can't handle anymore. I'm still recovering from Sunday, the news from President Biden, but then the great news that support was lining up so quickly for our friend, Vice President Kamala Harris. So A lot going on in the world of politics, but good to be back with you.
You know what? You're right. I don't know if I could take any more breaking news either. But Senator Padilla, you came out really early and quite convincingly in support of the vice president shortly after President Biden announced he wouldn't be standing for re-election.
Absolutely, and Dominique, for me, it was a no-brainer. Not only because I've had the privilege of knowing Vice President Harris, I got to resist the urge to just say Kamala. Vice President Harris, she's earned the title and the respect for so many years. I was, as you were recalling my biography here, I was on the city council, president of the council when she and I first met. She was doing the criminal justice reform thing in San Francisco as the district attorney there. When I was in the state senate, she was our attorney general. And I've been reliving the days when the mortgage foreclosure crisis in the late 2000s. I was in the banking committee trying to strengthen the consumer protections in California, and she was the attorney general duking it out with the banks on behalf of mortgage holders in California. And then, of course, when I was Secretary of State doing all the great voter protection, voting rights work in California, she was fighting the fight in the U.S. Senate. So we've had a good working relationship for many, many years, and I just couldn't be prouder because we've known her, because she's a Californian, because we know she's a fighter, and what she fights for, who she fights for, to think she's about to be the Democratic nominee for president, and I'm going to work my butt off between now and November to make sure she wins.
I mean, I know you don't speak for all Latinos, and I know it's always weird when people want me to speak for all Black people. But what is your perception of, the support of Latino voters to the extent that you know? How do you think they'll fall when it comes to supporting a candidacy by Vice President Kamala Harris?
Yeah, well, like you said, the Latino community is diverse, but I sense overwhelming enthusiasm, especially here in California. My parents for many years were my informal focus group when it came to the generations before me in terms of the Latino vote. I got to tell you, my dad is pretty ecstatic. He's had a chance to meet Vice President Harris on a couple of occasions. And we know young people are excited. You can tell by social media and what's going on TikTok and other platforms. You can tell by the number of $5 here, $10 there contributions from young people to now Vice President Harris's campaign for president. And look at the number of elected leaders that have so quickly endorsed and lent their support. Just knowing so many of the names, it's people not just lending their names, but people willing to travel if we need to Nevada, to Arizona, to Pennsylvania. Like, send us where we got to go, knock on doors, get out the vote, because there's so much at stake this November. Not to get off topic here, but I think the frame of the choice, the consequences in November couldn't be clearer. Vice President Harris's background is as a prosecutor, right? She was the Attorney General for California. She got her start in San Francisco, and she's running against a convicted felon. The Republican Party has made history this year. They nominated a convicted felon to be their nominee for President of the United States. They used to be the party of law and order, at least self-proclaimed, but boy, have they fallen.
Yeah. Well, they did kind of put up a much more diverse convention than we've seen in the past. Were you impressed by that, Senator Padilla?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, maybe some of the faces were more diverse than Republican conventions past, but at the end of the day, you got to look at the substance. And their platform, their agenda. If you haven't heard about it, if you haven't read up on it, Google Project 2025, and that tells you that's Donald Trump's blueprint. If he were to get reelected and go back into the White House, what they try to do. They just got started when they started making it harder for people of color to register and vote. We saw what the Supreme Court has done to reproductive rights and access to health care. That's just the beginning for what they would want to achieve if they regain power. So that's what I'm saying. There's still a ton at stake this November with President Biden stepping down and Vice President Harris stepping in as our nominee. The stakes haven't gone down. The stakes have only ramped up because of what the Republican agenda is. And sadly, we know what the next 105 days are going to look like on the campaign side. They're going to come at Kamala Harris with everything they got. We know there's going to be a lot of hate. We know there's going to be some both subliminal racism and some overt racism thrown at her. And so I know she's up for the task. She's been breaking barriers her entire career. But I do think we all need, as a greater community, to rally around her, not just for her sake, but for the sake of our country.
Senator Padilla, when you were Secretary of State in California, you really did put in place some strong initiatives and protections that I wish we had nationwide. You made it easier to vote. We don't have the problems of long lines and not being able to have anywhere to drop off your ballot. When you see what's happening with Republicans now installing loyalists in some of these local election boards and actually overturning or not overturning, on a widespread basis, but putting in place the mechanisms to overturn and certainly pondering it in some local elections. How worried are you? How worried should we be for 2024 and beyond around our voting rights, and what ought we be doing about that?
Yeah, no, look, the danger is real. Like you said, maybe not here in California because of the work that we've done, but as you follow presidential contests, you know that the states that matter even more are states like Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and Michigan and Georgia and Arizona, where the fight for access to the ballot is real. And there's so much concern that if Trump were to get elected this November, we already saw what he tried to do on January 6th. He will stop at nothing to try to hold on to power. With the Supreme Court now ruling that the president has a tremendous amount of immunity, that no matter what a president tries to do, if he claims it's official business, then he can get away with anything. Imagine Donald Trump canceling the next election in 4 years. I can see that happening. I can see him trying, and we obviously can't count on the Supreme Court right now to uphold the Constitution and our fundamental rights. So I can't say it enough. There's a ton at stake this November. At least here in California, we have what I call no excuse voting. We've made it so easy. There's so many ways to register to vote: on paper, in person, online. And you can even do it when you show up to vote on election day if you waited that long. You can vote by mail. You can vote on election day. You can vote early, in person. Multiple ways to do it. No excuses. Too much at stake. A lot of reasons to get out and vote, and we got to do our part. Yeah, I know you have to leave us, but I'm sure you must have been pretty shocked to see Trump select J.D. Vance, who has said he would do what Mike Pence wouldn't do, which is refuse to certify the election and basically overturn free and fair results by the American voters. Yeah, I'm sadly not shocked at all because, just when you think Trump won't stoop any lower, just when you think Trump will try to say something to shock you, he doesn't. Imagine the worst possible scenario, and he's going to try to achieve that. So he selected a yes man, mini-me, to be his running mate, just a reminder of what's at stake. Because imagine they get back into the White House, something were to happen to Trump, and the vice president takes over. He's already said he'd do what Mike Pence wouldn't do on January 6th. Mike Pence, and I have a lot of issues with Mike Pence, but at least he upheld the Constitution on January 6th. Republicans are signaling they're going to toss that all out the window. Senator Alex Padilla, I hope you catch your plane, travel smoothly, and thank you so much for checking in with us this morning. Thanks, Dominic. Off to Washington, D.C. for the week. All right, great stuff. Appreciate the information. And man, California is on the move right now. We are taking your phone calls, 800-920-1580. We are unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Help prevent gun violence tragedies. Gun violence restraining orders can help to prevent individuals at risk of harming themselves or others by removing their guns for 21 days up to 5 years. Learn more about how to petition for a GVRO and the role of GVROs in safeguarding communities by visiting lacountygvro.org or by calling 1-833-540-0473. GVROs can save lives.
Oh, man. Looks like Bobby needs a ride to the airport again.
Grab the keys.
Who's taking Auntie and her friends to the swap meet?
Grab the keys.
How about we drop these boxes off at Miss Johnson?
Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, you're all about getting things done. So do it all in a Chevy SUV. From the versatile Equinox and sporty Blazer to the roomy Traverse, our lineup of SUVs will carry you through every adventure. All you have to do is
grab the keys.
That's how we do. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Malibu, Colorado, Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Traverse limited models. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 15.8%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/1/24.
Have you heard of the 50-30-20 rule? This can help you spend and save your money wisely. So, how does it work? Distribute your dollars into 3 buckets. 50% towards needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% goes to savings. Use this tool to help your journey to financial success. Sponsored by JP Morgan Chase & Company.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Hey guys, do you want male performance in the bedroom and do you want it now? Get it in 47 seconds or less. For the first time, you can have instant male enhancement. Introducing Knox 47, the topical male enhancement that works in 47 seconds or less. Satisfaction guaranteed. Finally, after years of scientific research, our proprietary formula will allow you to perform in the bedroom like never before. Just imagine that little blue pill on steroids. No reason to settle and wait when you can get instant performance now. Forget about pills and potions that make you wait hours or up to 30 days to work. That's yesterday's news. Knox 47 is brand new. The hottest thing for men. And you don't need a prescription. Call now and get your free supply for a limited time.
To find out how to get Knox 47 for free, call now. 800-617-1621. That's 800-617-1621. Free bottles for limited time. Call 800-617-1621. That's 800-617-1621.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more. All designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada. Member FDIC.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
Man, time flies when you're having fun, and we are having fun around here. Going to Kwamel from Gardena. Good morning, sir.
Oh, girl, you already know what's going to happen. And we're starting to see it happen already. These hoteps, these edgelords, these fake revolutionaries. It's Talking Point Tuesday, right? And we see them pulling out their classic talking points, all the Kamala stuff, all the, oh, she ain't black enough, or she's black when it's convenient, she's not black when it's convenient. Oh, she locked these people up. You know, it's the lack of imagination. It's their negativity and pessimism that they love to push, and it's work to ignore it.
Yeah, I call it the doom and gloom, crowd. That's what they do. Black people are an endangered species. Everybody hates us, blah, blah, blah. Kamala's not black enough. And right now they're cutting up a lot of clips out of context and trying to make her look some kind of way. It's interesting to me that they don't care about the facts.
It's interesting to me that they just don't seem to have a plan, a solution. It's just wipe our enthusiasm out, and just be miserable like them. Just sit at home, sit in a country you don't like, and no plan, no nothing. People think they think we all got passports. We're just gonna run off to Ghana, run off to Vancouver or something.
Some are going so far as to vote for Trump or advocate for him.
For the most cynical reasons, too. For the most cynical reasons, I really do think they're being bodish. It's the whole chaos agent, just want to see the world burn like Joker thing. So I didn't want to play the totally negative line, because I do feel that there's some alliances that Kamala herself should be picking up phones and calling right now. Get on with Bernie, get on with Maxine.
Maxine Waters has already endorsed Kamala Harris.
But the point is to build that team and say, okay, hey, here's what we're going to start moving on as far as abortion, as far as attacking the housing crisis, all these things, like create further excitement that we're already seeing it kind of with the donors, but we got to create further excitement with the platform too.
Yeah,
and not let amongst our folks the negative people that don't just have no faith at all, have no imagination, have no ideas. Don't let them take over and take us out of the political process, because they love to do it, and it's almost like just for internet content.
Yeah, and for clicks, right?
That's my huge problem. I usually have more, but that's my thing to meditate on for now. I thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Kwamel. I appreciate you. Look, we've got just a few seconds before news, traffic, and sports. We'll be joined by State Assemblyman Isaac Bryan, who is a progressive and has some insights for us about what's happening on the statewide level as far as supporting the vice president, as well as some of his own victories and battles. And we will continue taking your phone calls. We are actually unapologetically democratic around here. What you know about that? Real multiracial democracy on radio. That's what we do. It's reciprocity. We talk and we listen, and glad to do it. 800-920-1580 is the number. Man, there's so much going on. This is the perfect time to have your own unapologetically progressive, unapologetically black talk radio station, and we're that. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
We thank you for joining us on a Tuesday, everyone. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Top lawmakers on the House Oversight Committee are calling on the head of the Secret Service to resign. Kentucky Republican James Comer and Maryland Democrat Jamie Raskin released a rare joint letter calling on Director Kimberly Cheadle to resign for failing to protect Donald Trump from an assassination attempt that ultimately killed one rally-goer and injured two others. Maryland Governor Wes Moore says he fully supports Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee for president, but he has no interest in becoming her running mate. Monday, the African-American governor said he will help and support the vice president in any way possible to help her become the next president, but is very, very comfortable with being the governor of the state of Maryland. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Generators aren't something you turn on each day, but when you do, they must be reliable. SoCal businesses have turned to Duthie Power for almost 60 years to keep emergency power systems maintained and serviced. See the generator experts at DuthiePower.com. That's DUTHIE Power.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
At age 39, even in the summertime, LeBron James proved he can still deliver when the game is on the line. LeBron scored the last 11 points for Team USA to help pull out a 4-point win over Germany in an exhibition game in London. It was the final tune-up for Team USA before the Summer Olympics in Paris. LeBron finished with 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Team USA was 5-0 in their practice games. They head to Paris today. First Olympic game is Sunday against Serbia, led by a center named Nikola Jokic. Vice President Kamala Harris was presidential Monday morning at the White House. She welcomed a group of NCAA athletes and coaches who won championships on the Division I, II, and III levels during the 2023-24 season. Harris stepped in to honor the athletes in place of President Joe Biden, who's at home in Delaware recovering from COVID. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California, home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Aviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect